Should I really focus on putting on like one song and putting that on SoundCloud? Or should I wait for 4 songs for an EP that I could maybe put on Spotify?
I've asked this advice to my uncle is an OK Go.
So they know a thing or two about going viral.
Exactly. So this is advice from my uncle who said you should make those 4 songs, have them ready to go, but trickle them out. And if one builds traction, that's where you have 2 or 3 others ready to go. You don't want to put 4 out and they're all on the same page and they get like 2 or 3 views. But if you put one out, it gets 1 or 2 views. Then you put out another one out like 2 weeks later, that for some reason people were on the site at the same exact time you put it on. You get like 100 views right there. That's where you're like, there's people seeing my thing right now. I have like views on this, put out another song right away, and then have songs ready to go when traction does build.
No, I mean, I think that's a good idea because it would suck to like put out an EP and there's interest and people are like, hey, this is cool stuff. And then you're like, oh shit, okay, now I have to spend like 6 months on the next EP and I lose like all the momentum and all these people because they just go listen to something else. I would hate to put one song out and have people be like, okay, that's pretty cool. Like, what else is there? And there's nothing else. Like, I've only put out one song,
So here's the thing, though. You're choosing a form. You're like, I want to express. I'm going to give it structure. The structure that I'm giving it is these 4 songs come as a package deal. From an artistic perspective, the question that I as a consumer ask is, why are these 4 songs placed together? Why are they in the order that they're in? And why are they delivered in the context that they're delivered in?
Well, and there's a thematic element to it as well. I don't know how important that is, like to the listener.
That's mostly an irrelevant question. How important is it to you?
I mean, it's pretty important.
What's the thematic element and why do these songs belong together as one experience?
I mean, it's basically like a 2020 retrospective. Like there were very specific things that happened in my life that came to like profound conclusion and there's some sort of intertwined themes. This is a slice of someone's life where they went through these events. And there's a definite like mood at the start and then a mood at the conclusion.
You've given me enough information to give you a decision point in favor of releasing this as one thing. This is not just about releasing 4 songs. This is about releasing a message that is contained over the course of 4 songs.
And it actually could be more than that, but I want to get something out. I want to put something out. Have you ever met someone who's like, they've got a grand idea for a project and it keeps getting bigger and bigger and then they just never end up putting it out? Like, I don't want that to happen. I want to come up with 4 good songs that I'm happy with, that I'm like, this is my art. This is what I'm about. I think these are good songs. Here you go.
There's a dissonance for you between the form of this expression and the medium of this expression.
Yeah, but that's accurate, I would think.
It's a difficult decision to be like, look, is this one thing? Is this 4 things that are grouped together? Is this 4 things that come out one at a time? And if they come out one at a time, how can I signal to the audience that it matters to that these are meant to be listened to together and in this order? I'm going to quote from a Facebook post, discussion that I had with a former teacher of mine who's old school. She writes Americana. She posts on Facebook. The irony of this is so lovely. She posts on Facebook, I'm struggling with the realization that I'm a long-form creator in a short-form world. Not everything can be said in a soundbite. That's a statement made by somebody who has the capacity to be a good short-form creator. So as creators, we also have to be aware of the constraints of the form that we're working in, and we have to find creative ways to express our message through that medium. I'm going to read you now my response to her, I'm a short-form creator in a long-form world. Okay, so here's what I wrote. There are ways to communicate a long-form creation through a short form. This is done by weaving a narrative through a series of those short-form creations. The most crude illustration I can think of is how people will communicate a message on Twitter that's longer than 40 characters and, 1 out of 4, break it up over several tweets with a number at the end indicating that there are more tweets to come, therefore indicating, 2 out of 4, that these are not individual short forms communications and are not to be taken as so. Rather, they are part of a larger communication and, 3 out of 4. If you read one of them without reading the others, you will not have the proper context for the message I am communicating. 4 out of 4. This 1 out of X convention is obviously an ugly and utilitarian indicator of connectedness between your creations. But given whatever medium you're working in, it's your job as an artist to find a creative and aesthetically appropriate way of creating that sense of connectedness between these short-form creations, so that your audience doesn't see short-form creations. It sees one long-form creation.